It's funny, right, how we spend a third of our lives asleep, but
Yeah.
still, most of us don't really get it. But you're spot on. The science behind it is surprisingly interesting once you dig in.
Totally. So for this deep dive, we're going for the good stuff, the why, the how, and most importantly, how to actually sleep better. Ready to unlock some of those secrets to a good night's sleep.
Absolutely. Let's do this.
Okay, so got to start with the most basic question, right?
Brother.
Why do we even sleep? Like, think about it. Wouldn't that have made our ancestors, sitting ducks? Evolutionarily, it kind of seems risky.
Right. Seems counterintuitive. But that's what makes it so cool. We think of sleep as this passive thing where we're vulnerable, but it's really active, essential, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so what was the evolutionary advantage then? How did our ancestors catch those Z's with, like, saber-toothed tigers roaming around?
Well, there's this idea of unihemispheric sleep some researchers think played a part. You know how dolphins sleep with only half their brain at a time?
Wait, really? So they're swimming and sleeping at the same time?
Exactly. They can come up for air, watch out for predators, all while snoozing. And while humans don't do the half-brain sleep, you got to figure our ancestors living in tribes, they needed to be somewhat alert all the time.
Yeah, safety in numbers, especially if some folks are more alert than others. Is that where chronotypes come in?
Yeah.
Like morning people versus night owls?
Bingo. Chronotypes, they're influenced by our genes, and they kind of dictate when we naturally feel most awake or sleepy. And it's not just about when we like to work or chill, it's how our bodies are actually wired. Some people, they hit the ground running at dawn. Others, well, they take a bit longer to warm up.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm definitely more of a night owl. Always thought I was just being lazy or something. It's kind of nice to know there might be a biological reason for it.
It's about understanding your own rhythm and working with it, not against it. But hey, speaking of rhythms, let's talk about those different sleep stages. It's wild to think our brains are basically putting on a concert while we sleep.
Right. So walk us through it. What's happening during this sleep symphony?
Well, we cycle through two main types, NREM and REM sleep. NREM is like the orchestra warming up, split into light and deep sleep.
So that's the non-dreaming sleep.
You got it. Light sleep is when you're dozing off, body relaxing, brainwaves slowing down. Deep sleep, though, that's where the magic really happens. It's like this huge rejuvenation process for your body and brain both.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What makes deep sleep so magical?
Think of it as your brain's cleaning crew working the night shift. It's flushing out toxins, all the metabolic waste that builds up during the day.
Wow, a brain detox. So if that's the cleaning crew, what else is going on in those other stages?
Well, deep sleep is also key for making memories stick, moving them from short-term to long-term storage. Like hitting save on all those important files.
Fascinating. So it's not just about resting our bodies, it's literally giving our brains time to process everything.
Exactly. And we haven't even gotten to REM sleep yet. That's a whole other movement in the symphony, full of dreams and emotions and all sorts of interesting stuff.
Okay, so we've covered the deep cleaning and the memory saving happening during NREM, but now REM sleep, that's where the dreams kick in, right?
Yeah, REM sleep, this is where things get really interesting. Our bodies are basically out cold, but our brains, they're going a mile a minute, almost like we're awake.
It's kind of wild when you think about it, right? Our bodies are totally still, but our minds are running a marathon.
Exactly. And it's during this super active brain time that we get those crazy vivid dreams. But it's not just for entertainment. REM sleep is doing important work for our emotions and how well our brains work, too.
So what's the connection there between REM sleep and our feelings? I swear, some mornings I wake up and it's like I processed a year's worth of emotions overnight.
I hear you. During REM, our brains are sorting through everything we felt that day, helping us make sense of it all, getting those emotions under control. It's like a free therapy session while we sleep.
Right. Like our dreams give us this safe space to work through those feelings, but without being totally overwhelmed since we're not technically awake.
That's the idea. And it's not just about working through emotions. REM sleep is also super important for learning new things and even being more creative.
Okay, I've heard that before, but always kind of wondered, how does sleeping make you more creative?
Well, remember how deep sleep helps us solidify memories, make them stick. REM sleep takes those memories and starts connecting them in new ways, kind of like our brains are playing a giant game of connect the dots.
So while I'm dreaming, my brain is making all these new pathways, which then leads to those aha moments when I'm awake.
Exactly. There was a study where people learned something complex and half of them slept and the other half stayed up. The ones who slept, especially those who got good REM sleep, they did way better on that task the next day.
That's incredible. So we're not just resting our bodies, we're basically giving our brains a workout while we sleep, processing emotions, locking in memories, and boosting our creativity. Who knew?
Exactly. The more we learn about sleep, the clearer it is. This isn't a luxury, it's essential, right up there with eating and drinking water for our health and well-being.
For sure. But honestly, who has time for enough sleep these days? It feels impossible with how fast-paced everything is. Our phones are always buzzing. There's always something to do. It's no wonder so many people struggle with sleep.
I agree, it's a real problem. And that's exactly why it's more important than ever to be proactive about our sleep, build some good habits to help us get that restful sleep we need.
Okay, so where do we even begin? Everyone's got a sleep hack these days. It's hard to know what actually works. So many hacks, so little time. Where do we even start?
Right, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But honestly, if we stick to what we know from the research, a few things stand out. And the biggest one, no surprise, consistency is key.
Yeah, routine makes sense. Our bodies like that.
Exactly. Having that regular sleep schedule, even on weekends, it keeps your body's natural clock, that circadian rhythm, in check.
Like setting an internal alarm, I like it. So what about our sleep environment? Any tips there?
Think about it. What did our ancestors have?
Definitely no street lights or glowing screens, that's for sure.
Exactly. Darkness, it's huge for good sleep. When it gets dark, our brains get the signal that it's time to wind down. But if we're blasting blue light from our phones and laptops all evening,
We're basically telling our brains it's still daytime. No wonder I feel wired after scrolling before bed.
exactly, aim for at least an hour, no screens before bed, read a book, take a bath, anything relaxing that doesn't involve that blue light.
Creating a ritual, I like it. Setting the mood for sleep.
And hey, don't underestimate a comfy sleep environment in general. Cool, dark, quiet. That makes a difference.
It's true, we take those things for granted. Okay, food and drink. What's the deal there?
Honestly, common sense goes a long way. Big meals or sugary snacks right before bed, probably not the best idea. And caffeine, alcohol, same deal. Be mindful of when you're having those.
No late night coffee dates then, got it.
You got it. But remember, these are just starting points, okay? The most important thing is to pay attention to your own body. Figure out what makes you feel your best.
So it's a personal journey, finding that sleep sweet spot.
Exactly. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. And your sleep needs, they'll change throughout life. So being flexible, adapting your habits, that's key.
This has been amazing, honestly. Learned so much, not just about sleep in general, but things I can actually use to sleep better myself. Any final words of wisdom before we wrap up?
Sleep is a gift, truly. It's essential, like we've been saying, and it's a foundation for good health. Prioritizing your sleep, that's one of the best things you can do for yourself, honestly.
Couldn't agree more. A huge thank you to you for sharing your expertise with us, and to everyone listening, sweet dreams. We'll catch you on our next deep dive.